1045 The Team and 1045theteam.com. On the phone right now, Trevor Gorman. He is the men's soccer coach at the University at Albany. Great Danes coming off a great year last year that saw them earn the number 1 seed in the America East Conference tournament. And the Danes open up the 2016 campaign this Friday night on the newly done up again Casey Stadium at the University at Albany. They're taking on Marist. Then they've got a game next Tuesday at home against Lafayette. So, Coach, ready for 2016? You guys got a mini homestand here to start.
Yeah, anytime you get to start the season at home, you're always excited about it. The guys come back in for preseason, they're buzzing. Everybody just can't wait to get going, and there's something special about playing at home in front of your home fans, so we can't wait for that.
What's it like for you guys this year? Obviously, last year you get the number 1 seed in the conference tournament. You get bounced in the semis against a Binghamton team, and they pulled an upset on you. What's it like this year, though, for you guys to be the hunted rather than the team that can kind of sneak up on some people?
Sure, it's kind of that common situation in sports where you have to evaluate each team differently, and you have to go into the season trying to stay consistent to who you are, but also recognizing that expectations will change. And this is the first time that we've been in the position of coming off that success to where people expect it from us. So we've just talked a lot about trying to stay true to who we are, trying to get better each and every day, trying to build this team into being as good as it possibly can be, and certainly use the experiences of last year, use the motivation, use all of those tools to get better. But hopefully everything is focused towards Friday night, and then we'll go from there.
You mentioned motivation coming off last year. As I alluded to, you guys bounced in the semis by Binghamton in a game you were favored on. How has that motivated the guys through the offseason? Is it something that you guys have spoken about a lot? Is it a rallying point, or is it something that you guys just try to say, look, that was last year, no matter what the result was, we're moving on? How have you handled it?
Yeah, we kind of look at it in a couple of different ways. Certainly everyone's very aware of it, so you don't have to say a lot. It kind of is unforgettable in that way, and that feeling, that memory is something that sits there. But it is a new team as well, and so we're careful to separate things and make sure that we focus on who we want to be now. Last year is an example of what makes soccer great and what makes it heartbreaking. You get into single elimination play. It's 90 minutes. Anything can happen. The game can play out in a number of different ways, and unfortunately on that night it didn't go our way, and that's the taste we've had to have in our mouth since then. But we'll be ready for this year. I think it can only stem as a positive for us, and we'll get going and hopefully have another moment where we can end it differently.
You've got an outstanding player, one of several outstanding players on your roster, but if guys are going to go watch UAlbany soccer play this year, I think you'd be hard-pressed to not notice your star, Alfonso Pinheiro. Tell us about this kid. Just how good is he? Because he took home quite a lot of accolades last year in the America East.
Yeah, Alfonso made a name for himself last year. Typically the goal scorers do, and he'd be the first to give credit to all the rest of the players around him that do a lot of the work and help him and are there every single day. But he's a goal scorer. Goal scorers have a natural ability to finish in and around the box. They're in the right place. They're always putting the work in. They have that hunger for the goal. They need to score. They're always working to try to get that advantage to help a team. And when you have a player like that, it puts pressure on your opponent, and it really makes them have to be locked in for 90 minutes, because if they take one break, he's there, and he's ready to punish them. And then it also helps the rest of the guys, because if he's going to be the focal point of defenders and he's going to be someone that everyone's aware of, then that should create more opportunities for other guys to come through. So it's exciting to have that kind of player. We're pleased that he's got the recognition. Now we're focusing on not what we've done, but what we still have to do.
Great Danes open up their 2016 men's soccer season on Friday, 7 o'clock. They're taking on Marist. Then the following Tuesday, taking on Lafayette. And as I mentioned, you're going to play those games Bob Ford Field, Casey Stadium. Over the last several years, the administration has done a really good job at upgrading your facilities. A new athletic director, now maybe not so new athletic director, Mark Benson, has taken a vested interest in really continuing that in upgrading the facilities that you guys play on, share with lacrosse, football, all of that. How has that helped your program grow in recruiting and a caliber of player you're able to bring in and help the program grow?
Well, it's been tremendous. When I first arrived here in 2011, we played in the exact same spot as Casey Stadium, except there was no stadium. It was a grass field with, I think, some old bleachers that maybe would have sat about 150, 200 fans. So to compare that now with the beautiful facility with multi-million-dollar video board and the concessions and the seating and the shelter and everything there for the fans, of course it has an impact. Our guys love having access to that every day. They love going out onto the field. They love having their fans there, playing under the lights and creating a home field atmosphere and environment. We had about 2,700 fans at our home opener last year against Villanova, and we want to keep packing the place out. Soccer is so popular now. It's growing every single day. Everybody's got a vested interest that we just want to get everybody out there to enjoy the experience the same as they do all the other sports here as the university in general. Everything's growing. It's great.
Trevor Gorman, UAlbany men's soccer coach with us, 104.5 The Team and 104.5theteam.com. Trevor, I want to get you out of here on this. Soccer continues to be at the forefront of the news, whether it's the MLS in this country or really specifically coming off the Olympics and then the World Cups a few years prior to that. I want to ask you about Hope Solo's comments. She called Sweden a bunch of cowards in the Olympics after the U.S. team lost because Sweden sat back, played defensive, didn't really attack, held the ball, played a possession game. And I'm a soccer newbie. To me, this seems like, well, it might be boring to watch. This is a justifiable and recognizable strategy, right? I mean, I see basketball teams hold the ball. I see football teams run the ball to churn up clock. I see baseball players get intentionally walked so as to have strategy. I mean, is she off base here, or is there some validity to what she's saying?
No, I think, and the response from most of the soccer world has reflected this, that she's a bit off base with what she's saying. I think you're absolutely right. Look, the idea is to win the game. And no matter what the sport is, no matter what the situation, you're trying to win. And as a team, as a coach, as a strategist, you have to do whatever puts your team in the best position to win. And soccer's a game where there's different strategies out there. You can think that you have to have the ball all the time. Sometimes you'd rather play without the ball and look to counterattack. Sometimes you want to take away what the other team does best, because then you can exploit them going the other way. So there's a lot of different ways to play. I think Hope was expressing frustration. I think it can be common sometimes of great athletes who've been at the pinnacle of their sport to speak out in frustration. We saw a little bit of the same thing this summer with Cristiano Ronaldo on the men's side when they tied Iceland, and he was very upset with the way Iceland chose to play in that match. So Hope and the U.S. team have been at the forefront of international soccer for well over decades at this point, and I think she got caught up in a moment, but I think at the end of the day, everyone's reaction to it was justified.
Trevor Gorman, UAlbany men's soccer coach, breaking it down with us, 104.5 The Team and 104.5theteam.com. Great Danes open up the 2016 season Friday night, 7 p.m. 2,700 people there last year on opening night. We need a similar crowd again, Capital Region, taking on Marist, and then another home game, turn around the following Tuesday against Lafayette. Coach, best of luck. Hopefully the pain of last year turns into motivation for this year, and we hope to see you in that championship game of the America East this year. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.